Hey, what is up, everybody? I wanted to make a specific dedicated video about Stormgate and my experience with the game so far. I have gone hard in the paint over the last 6 days, put in a little over 50 hours into the game, specifically on Vanguard. As you can see, I've played almost 200 games. Infernals, I've played 3 games. And Celestials, I played 1, and this was like when I first started playing the game. I did not start with Vanguard. So obviously, I've had a fair amount of time with the game, and I wanted to share with you guys my honest, the good, the bad, and the ugly about Stormgate as of August 6th, 2024. So, before I get into this, I'm going to be rambling a little bit. I do have some notes here on the side just so I can keep it concise, and I'm going to try and make this video like under 20 minutes. And there might be some things that I'm forgetting, so feel free to leave your comments in the comment section. I'll either answer any questions you have in the comment section, or I will make another video when the game gets open to the public for free on August 13th, I do believe is the date. So right now, it's in early access. You can pay for the game. I think it's like 25 bucks or so, and you can get in early and play the campaign and the verses. I would highly suggest, if you are just buying the game strictly for the campaign, to hold off on making that purchase as of right now, as they did come out and say that they are working on making the campaign a better experience visually, along with a few other things. So I would hold off unless you just want to, give money and support, which I'm sure if you have that mindset, you've probably already been in the Kickstarter like myself. I backed this for like 1,400 bucks. So I really want this thing to succeed. I'm really excited about the game. And obviously, I'm passionate about this, so I might get animated, and I'm very opinionated. The thing is there's going to be some of my opinions that you hard agree with, and then that you hard disagree with, or maybe you're a little indifferent. One way or another, this is just my point of view. I'm not going to strictly base this on what a lot of people are saying, although I will mention that. This is strictly from my point of view and what I think that the team can do to improve the overall sentiment of Stormgate and potentially, have the next big RTS. So, I think we're going to start off with... Oh, do I want to do the good or the bad first? Let's go... You know what? Let's be positive. Let's get the good out of the way. All right? So, first and foremost... some of the good here for the game. The feel. So the feel of the game is fantastic. And what I'm going to do is while I'm yapping and stuff, I'm going to create a lobby and a game. And I'm just going to go up against the computer. When you're playing against AI, it's basically, you don't have to do anything. The AI basically doesn't play. You can just kind of have fun with it. Okay, so the feel of the game, all right? The feel of the game is fantastic. I know that, and I will talk about the actual look of the game itself, which I'm not a huge fan of, but when you're actually playing the game is extremely responsive, and it just feels nice. My favorite unit to play with are the Exos, which are basically like... They're not quite like Marines, but it's essentially a Marine or a rifleman in Warcraft, and they're extremely fun to play with. It's so intuitive, it's so responsive that it's almost like the game knows what you're gonna do before you're even doing it. It feels that good, so I have to give them that. The game itself feels incredible. Now, the way it looks, that might not necessarily be the case, but trust me, the game actually feels nice. The other thing that I really like about this game in terms of the feel for it are the maps and the objectives on or in each game. So, for example, there are creeps all over. Some of them are basically healing wards. Some of them give you speed boost. Some of them, they do a wide range of, not a wide, but there's a few different types. There's even boss ones where you kill a boss, and then like an AI turret or almost like a tank goes to your opponent's base and starts trying to destroy it, which can buy you some time, and it's actually quite strong. Also, when you're done killing a camp, it will respawn over time, and the camp becomes stronger. So in the beginning, the camps are really, really easy to kill, and then they become harder and harder as the game goes on. Now, obviously, as the game goes on, you're going to have even more units. So in theory, you know, those camps are going to die quick, but you can't just go with 3 or 4 units and kill camps as you get later into the game. So the objective points in this game are incredible. And the reason why I like it so much is you're always kind of doing something in the beginning of the game. In StarCraft, you're building, your opponent's building, there's some scouting, and then, you know, there's attacking. Here, it's map control. You can, every time that you go and get a camp, you also have a vision, almost like a Zelnaga tower, for each camp that you take. And you can strategically go around the map and pick certain things or steal camps from the other side and use those as ways to not only control the map, but to control the pace of how the game is going and almost fake out your opponent. And even when your opponent takes something, it'll actually show up in the fog of war or on your minimap that your opponent has taken one of the camps. So then now you know typically where that army is on the map, and you can start making decisions on and be strategic on, okay, we know that the opponent just took this, right? A lot of the times they take their full army over there because as you get later into the game, the camps become harder to kill. And now, if you know that your opponent is up here, you might want to go down and pick off an expansion that they have, or go do a base, or maybe go take a camp, or maybe try and cut them off. Oh, okay, they came here. Maybe they're going to do pathing to go back towards here. So maybe now you're starting to line yourself up here or take the high ground. The maps are very interactive, which is fantastic, and it keeps you busy throughout the entire duration of the game. From the moment the game starts all the way until the game finishes, you're using your units. It's not like you're just kind of sitting there and waiting for something to go down, and then it does, and then the game ends. So that's quite nice, and it's very interactive, and it's rewarding. It just feels good. So that's another good thing. The other good thing is the music. Now, I have the audio down quite low so that you guys can hear me speak, but the music on all 3 races are fantastic. It really makes you feel like you're playing a Blizzard RTS. The music never gets old. It kind of amps you up. You can just listen to it literally for hours on end, and it really does add to the whole feel of the game. I think music is very important when it comes to RTS, and they absolutely nailed it in Stormgate. Looking at my notes over here, another positive thing about the game is it's a new RTS, right? It's something we've always wanted. How many conversations have we had about, oh, if only StarCraft 3 came out, or we had another Blizzard-like RTS? Well, it's here. And yes, it is early access. And yes, there are lots of things that the game does need to work on. But ultimately, we are playing a new RTS in 2024. It has a fantastic team, which is another good about the game. The team there is the best of the best. It really, truly is. And even though there will be people in the comment section that will say, well, if they're the best of the best, then why are some of these glaring issues still a thing? Well, you know, some things are excusable, some of them aren't, but at the end of the day, the team is fantastic. They know what they're doing, and the simple fact that I put 50 hours into this game over the last 6 days when I didn't need to, right? I could continue to just wait until another 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, when the game is much more polished, but I want to play. I'm excited to play. I woke up every day for the last 5 or 6 days excited to play Stormgate. even with the frustrations that I have, and that is big thanks to the team that they have developing this game. So kudos to them. Now, that's a lot of the good. All right. I also like the fact that there are 3 races. All 3 races feel, look, sound, and play differently than each other. Yes, they are very similar to the races in previous RTSs like StarCraft and Warcraft. You know, your Infernals are basically the Undead or Zerg. Your Vanguard are basically your Terran or your humans. And your Celestials are basically Protoss. That's pretty much it. The Celestials feel a little bit different than Protoss, but from a design-wise and like the look and feel, it's very Protoss-y. So, you know, there isn't a whole lot of creativity with the races, but there is enough there that they do feel unique enough, but familiar enough that you just kind of fit right in. Like, you just feel like you're right back at home, and you almost identify with a specific race, just like you would have in StarCraft 2, right? Well, I've been playing a ton of Vanguard, but I don't consider myself a human player. I'm probably going to be a Celestial player because I'm a Protoss player, and I think they look and sound really cool. But unfortunately, right now, they're broken as shit. So I'm not playing them right now because I know how I play, and I would just do abusive builds and not really learn too much about the game. So I'm trying to learn the game in a much broader sense than what I did in StarCraft, although I've done very well with StarCraft. And I like to think I know the game intimately over these last like 14 or 15 years. But I did it the hard way. So this time around, I am going to learn a full, complete game, but then, of course, have a very specific, aggressive playstyle. But enough about that. Those are the good. Now let's talk about the bad, okay? The look of the game. This is just not inspiring. I'm just going to go and say it. Like, the artwork, the design of the game definitely has come a long way since when I played it back in December. It was almost unplayable. Like, I literally played a few games and then turned it off and didn't touch it since. That's the complete opposite of what has happened over this last week. So that goes to show that the game has come a long way. The developers are saying that there is still a long way to go, but they are committed to this style of RTS in terms of the look. So don't expect this cartoony, dated-looking style to go away, but instead have more of a cartoony, polished, better-looking game over this next year, right? So I will tell you, when playing the game, I don't really think to myself, oh, this is ugly, I don't really like this. But, you know, it's 2024. I was expecting an RTS that looked better than this, if I'm just being honest. And there's a lot, that is almost the number one thing that people complain about, is they're almost stun-locked on how dated this looks. If this came out 10 years ago, totally different story. But it's 2024, and StarCraft 2 objectively looks better than this game. And I'll be honest, when people sent me screenshots and I went back to Reddit posts and I looked at StarCraft when it first came out, that came a long way over the first year of StarCraft. I mean, it looked pretty bad and now it looks pretty amazing. But even its earliest stages of StarCraft 2, I feel like looks better than this. And that in and itself, and I understand Blizzard is a much bigger company than what Frost Giant is. I understand that. The budgets aren't the same. The team size not the same. But I mean, god dang. It's just uninspiring, it's dull, and it's soulless from a visual standpoint. Audio-wise, sounds great. Still needs a little bit of work in terms of like more things that the units can say so it doesn't get repetitive. But the look of the game is a little lackluster. But I will say again, as you play this game and as you continue to watch it more and more, you'll start to kind of like, you know, like an ugly dog. You know, somebody might have an ugly dog, but it's like, hey, I love this ugly dog, and I actually think the dog is cute. Well, that's sort of how I'm feeling about this game. It's like, you know, you just kind of get used to it, and you just realize that it's not going to change all that much, and just kind of enjoy the mechanics of the game. So I don't want to dig too much deeper into that. That's pretty self-explanatory. Another bad thing, the hotkeys. They're fucking awful. And I'd go as far as saying whoever made the decision to do all of this way should low-key be fucking fired. It's that bad. It's really, truly that bad. I can appreciate the Q, W, E, R. It makes things easy. You don't have to individually hotkey, say, your barracks and then your mech labs or your command posts or anything like that. You can just kind of, hey, I want to build this. It'll automatically take, so if I want to do a supply depot, or in this case it's called a habitat, if I want to do that, it'll automatically take one from your line, your mineral line, and then it'll go back and it'll collect resources. So that's actually quite nice, and this is really great for people that struggle at the high level, where you're doing so many things at once. This is definitely a crutch, and it's something that I appreciate and that I use. But when it comes to the actual hotkeys of the units, which, by the way, they have addressed, and there are some hotkey changes coming and a full mapping that you can do, but my God, it is embarrassing that they would even do an early access release with the hotkey setups that they have. I mean, even just holding position is D. It's D, it's not H. Patrolling is G. It's like everything is on the left side of the keyboard. It's like they hated the right side of the keyboard. It's not good. And then when you go in and you try and do certain control groups, like I can't even do Shift F1, F2, F3, F4, but I can do Control F1, F2, F3, F4 for location hotkeys. When I went to go and try and do P for patrol or H for stop or anything like that, it gets in the way of secondary hotkeys and it screws up the whole game. So like, don't even bother trying. The hotkeys are like, I cannot believe that they put that in here the way that they did. I see why they have it like this, but for the love of God, give an option to do it the old school way instead of this new school way for the ones that are experienced with RTSs and have been doing the same thing for many, many years. The simple fact that they just didn't do that on release is unacceptable. It just is, in my opinion. And once again, I'm getting a little animated. I'm passionate about this. And when I say somebody should be fired, I don't think they should be fired. But, you know, it's embarrassing. It's just straight up embarrassing. The other thing that's not great about this game right now is the pathing. Pathing is not very good. So, for example, if I am... Let me see if I can try and show you here. So, if I'm making this and I wanted to go put these guys on here, look at them. They don't know what the fuck to do. This is embarrassing. This should not be a thing. Right? So, instead, they should be going around, but it's like they have a certain pathing in their head, and if they can't do that pathing, they just sit there and they run around in circles, or they sit in one spot and they have an animation of running. It's 2024. You're releasing the next StarCraft game, and this is what you put out? Not good, okay? That also needs to be fixed. Another thing that happens quite frequently, and it's really annoying, is when I go around the map, it'll just randomly tell me that my units are under attack. So I'll see if I can make this happen here. So as you can see, this creep here came back, and you notice how much tougher they are. Like the first creep I killed with, you know, I think 3 Lancers and a Scout. This one, it's taking quite a bit more. So, but I'm gonna. So just randomly, it'll tell you. Look at the pathing again. The pathing is just, they don't know what to do. Let me see here. So yeah, this one gives you healing. So if you, it's like a healing ward essentially. But essentially, if I were to kind of just go around and run around the map, randomly, it'll just go, dan, 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 your units are under attack. And you go and look, and I say, no, they're not. They're not under attack. What are you talking about? So anyway, I'll wait for that to happen. That'll eventually happen. The other thing is, that I don't like is the sheer amount of comparisons to StarCraft 2 that the actual team is doing. I get it. A lot of the team helped create StarCraft 2. It's near and dear to their heart. They are pandering to the StarCraft community, the biggest RTS community in the world. They want people to think that their game is going to be the next StarCraft. And you know what? It might end up being that. But the thing is when you are comparing yourself to the greatest game ever made, all right? Or at least the greatest RTS ever made, which is debatable. Some people think Brood War is, some people think StarCraft 2 is. I'm a StarCraft 2 fanboy. And Brood War fanboy, but StarCraft 2 is the better game. When you're comparing your game, then people are going to criticize the shit out of what you're putting out. I mean, just about every corner of updates that we've been getting from them over the last few years have been talking about StarCraft and the successor of StarCraft, the team of StarCraft. Well, I'm going to tell you something. This game is nothing like StarCraft. The only thing that's like StarCraft, in my opinion, is the sound, the music, the audio cues. I mean, it's so egregiously hell-bent on trying to convince you that it's StarCraft that you hear things. There's audio cues in here that are a straight ripoff of StarCraft. Like, in the rear with the beer. There's so many different things that they do as a callback, and I'm all for callbacks and little nods and winks, but like when your game is just worse in every conceivable way, I don't think you necessarily want to be compared to StarCraft. Not right now. But I understand it's a marketing thing. I get it. And I think it's also the reason why a lot of fanboys and fangirls out there are so opinionated and are a little harsh on the game, myself included sometimes, when you are comparing it to the game that changed my life, the game that is like religion to me. I mean, you got to be. I mean, you got to produce something. And I'm not saying that this will not be as good as StarCraft. Actually, I you know what? I am saying it. It's not going to be as good as StarCraft. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I don't think it can't replace StarCraft in my life, and we can't have a ton of fun with it, and there'll be a big esports scene, and it'll be the next StarCraft. I think that it's possible. But right now, it's just nowhere near there. And they got to stop comparing the two, in my opinion. The other thing is the focus on campaign and co-op. I get it. Campaign is what brings in some dollars, much needed dollars for the development team. It's expensive to make these games. It's expensive to keep these games running all the time. I understand. But the campaign that they released, and I'll be honest, I did not play it, and I probably never will. I just don't care about campaign. But I have seen clips, I have read the forums, and it looks fucking awful. It looks awful. Horrible. Okay? I'm just keeping it a buck. The story looks bland. The characters look pretty shit. The gameplay looks extremely subpar. It just does not look good at all. And in my opinion, they should stop focusing on that dumpster fire and get this part done right, and then go into the storyline and do the campaign stuff, because there's a lot. Yes, son.
Are you ready for your supper?
Not yet, bud.
Okay.
All right, I'll be up soon. They're just not like listen. I already know that they're gonna keep working on the campaign. They've already said it. This is just my opinion. There are just glaring issues with balance the Celestials, the Kree. The Celestials is a meme right now. It's so incredibly broken. And they're saying that a balance patch is coming. They actually tweeted out to me and said, I hope you're looking forward to the balance patch that's coming. But there's no notes. We don't know what balances they're doing. We don't know when it's coming. I'm assuming that it's going to come out before the game goes public on August 13th. And then they're saying that it's going to take a year of basically public access, of fine-tuning, improving the gameplay, the balance, the look and feel of the game, all of that stuff over the next year until about Stormgate 1.0 comes out, and then we have more of a finished, polished product. The campaign is just not good, and here's the reason why I don't think they should be wasting all that much time and resource into the campaign right now, is because first impressions are everything. And if that campaign is what you put out to the masses and that's your hook to get new people into RTS, that ain't it. That ain't it. It ain't it. In my opinion, they need to focus on 1v1, not 2v2, 3v3 co-ops. They're trying to do too much at once. You are not Blizzard. And although a lot of the people from there come from Blizzard, you don't have the money, the resource, or the team needed to build out a fully fleshed out 1v1, 2v2, 3v3 co-op campaign, store, community, esport, all of it at once. How do you do it? Like, it's too ambitious. Like, I can appreciate the sentiment, and I can appreciate the wanting it all and really being that next StarCraft or that next Warcraft. I get it. But you're not there. You're just not ready, and it's been proven. Now, maybe I would feel different about all of this if the campaign came out in 3 months and then they actually put out something of value and of substance where people don't feel like I just wasted a bunch of money on this crap and now I don't want to play this game anymore. It's embarrassing. And we want this game to succeed. We want there to be a community. We want people to fall in love with the genre. We want people to want to boot up this game and play it. But when you're putting out subpar stuff, it's harder for people to want to pick it up again later. Not everybody has the mindset of, look what StarCraft was when it first came out. Now look at StarCraft. Look how great it is. We can do the same with Stormgate. Thing is the vast majority of people don't think that way, right? We're the insiders. We're the elitists of this genre and what they're trying to do here. We understand the road that has to be driven or the mountain that needs to be climbed in order to get to where they want to inevitably be. But the problem is, you can't do all of that at once. This isn't StarCraft. StarCraft 2 had Brood War on its back. They already had millions of fans around the world. Stormgate only has, I don't even know how many players. I think at peak during the early access was like 5,000, 6,000. I'm not sure. But it's early access. It's going to get bigger when it comes out. But my fear is they're going to give this product out to the masses on the 13th, and it's going to turn off a whole bunch of people from a campaign and co-op standpoint, or maybe even a 2v2 standpoint. I don't know. I truly think that they need to focus. They got something good going on here. This is fucking fun. This is a fun fucking game to play. It really is. I know I'm doing a lot of harping, but there is so much fun to be had. They just need to tighten this ship up. And it's like, I don't know what's going on. Like, they are pretty open with their issues, the things that they're doing, with things that they want to do, all that stuff. But they're not giving details about balancing the 1v1. I understand that they came up with a report saying that, like, more than 50% of the players are playing the campaign. That's bad because the campaign's trash. That means more than 50% are seeing the worst part of this game. I want them to experience the best part. But I also understand the challenges, or at least I think I understand some of the challenges of creating a game, the financial hardships of it, and they need to get a product out there to make money because this is going to be free to play, and they're going to have to put in missions and skins and all this other stuff that people can purchase so that they can, break even or and hopefully turn a profit on the game and have longevity. But like, guys, why are we putting out extremely subpar stuff? I don't get it. So there's that. The 3 races, the Vanguard, Infernals, and Celestials, I've already talked about that. The Celestials are broken. Broken. The Kree are absolutely a freaking meme. It's meme. Celestials are broken with certain maps, but they'll figure that out. But it would be nice if they would patch the game for glaringly broken things a little bit quicker. I'm not saying that they need to go and do a complete overhaul of the balance. You just don't do that after 3 or 4 days of playing. You need a large pool of what's the word I'm looking for? You need a whole bunch of evidence and data. That's the word I'm looking for. Here we go. You need a bunch of data in order to do this. But when something like the Kree is so blaringly broken, and you go and you take a look at the ladder, and you clearly see the Celestials. Like, look at this. It's Celestials all day. There's like 3 or 4 Vanguards in the, they're okay. Well, there might be 20 out of the 100 Vanguard, but you look at the very top. It's Celestial and Infernal at the very top, and it's not because Celestials are the most played and are. There's just more people playing them. I mean, there might be. It's just because it's broken. It's extremely broken to the point where when you see them, you when you're getting into a game, you just roll your eyes and you just want to leave, but you just stay and you play. What else is there? How long have I been going on? 32 minutes. Oh God. You know what? I don't want to harp on it too much, but overall, the game needs work. But the game is a ton of fun. I think some people, including myself, can be a bit hard on the game, but I'm only hard on them because they set themselves up to be hard to take this criticism. Do not compare yourself this much to StarCraft. You're not there yet. The hotkeys, the balance, the look, the feel, the responsiveness is better than StarCraft. That part is better. I'm telling you, if you haven't played the game on August 13th, you should at least play it and enjoy it. But like, just understand, there's a lot of work to be done here. But overall, I'm going to end it with this. I'm extremely excited for Stormgate. I'm excited to cast it. I'm excited to play it. I'm grateful for the team. I'm grateful that we're getting another RTS in 2024, a real one, like a real Blizzard-style RTS that has all of the great ingredients that we all absolutely love. I got to give a massive shout-out to the team, and although there are some harsh criticisms, they're doing a fantastic job. I just think some of the way that they're implementing things and the way that they keep using the early access, or we got a lot to go, as an excuse for just blatantly bad things in the game that should just not be there. Hotkeys, hotkeys, please. I know they're coming, but my God, should never be released like that. It just shouldn't. Like I said, some of the other glaringly obviously broken things, the Celestials, there are just certain things that just shouldn't be done that are being done. But I am grateful for the team and what they've been doing. I'm excited to create content for this game, and I'm going to champion this. I'm going to stick behind this through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And right now, there is some good, there is some bad, and there's some ugly. But I will say that the good is starting to overweigh the bad, but not quite the ugly. Once they get rid of the ugly spots of this game, the pathing, the hotkeys, the random, you're under attack even though you're not under attack, there's a few things. The way the maps are with the Celestials, like once they figure out that sort of balance part of it. And I'm not even looking for perfectly balanced day one. I know that there's going to be things that are abusable and stuff like that. But when something is so bad that, like, it's turning people off from playing the game at the most crucial time where you want people to play this game and enjoy it. First impressions are everything. I believe that they're not putting their best foot forward, and maybe those are financial pressures where they feel like they need to push something out even though it's not quite ready. You know, hopefully the community will understand. And I think that good grace only goes so far, and I think they have reached that point where now they're being called out on glaringly bad things, and the patience of the players aren't as understanding as they were, say, 6 months ago, 9 months ago. But I will say, my God, what a difference in gameplay, even the aesthetic, the look, and the feel of the game from now in December. If we get another jump up in quality that we got from December to now, from now to the end of this year, we're on to something here, guys. We're on to something here, and that's not copium I'm on right now. This will legitimately be something special. But I don't know. Can they do it? Will they do it? Who knows? Let me know what you guys think. I know this is sort of off the cuff. I could sit here for 2 hours and talk about this stuff, and I'm sure we will talk about it more and more. I've clocked in just over 50 hours. I'm having fun. I'm going to play the game right after I'm done recording this video. And expect, Adam has been studying it as well, expect some content, like some casting content, some unit breakdowns, some game theory, all that stuff coming here to LAGTV with Stormgate. And of course, StarCraft 2 is never going anywhere. We will always do our flagship stuff. But my goodness, is it going to be nice to have Stormgate, StarCraft, and potentially Battle Aces, and have this be a complete RTS channel instead of it just being some of the same regurgitated stuff that we've been doing for many years, which, by the way, we enjoy doing, and we are grateful as hell that you guys still find enjoyment in that. But we're really wanting, as content creators, to sink our teeth into something else that we love, and I'm trying so desperately to fall in love with this. Right now, this is like some really good side piece action. This is like, damn. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I'm ready to marry this game yet, if you know what I'm saying. All right, guys, thank you so much, and we will see you guys very soon. Peace out.